we don't want to put too much pressure on the results, but also we cannot escape. We are working a lot. We have everything now. We have good clubs. We have good coaches in national team. Florian Bruzo, who came back, who is making amazing things. Kobechak, who is one of the best coaches in the world, which is amazing for us to work with him. So we cannot escape from being ambitious.
Okay, welcome to this episode of the Total Waterpolo Podcast. I'm really excited to have this gentleman sitting to my right on the show today. I'm joined by one of my favourite players, a great left-hander, a former Champions League winner, an Olympian, and perhaps most interestingly, he's going to be captaining his team at the next Olympic Games in front of a home crowd. So I'm very delighted to welcome Ugo Crousillat to the podcast. How are you?
Thank you, I'm fine. A bit sad because we didn't reach any wins in this tournament, but also really happy to be here, and thanks for calling me.
No, that's absolutely fine. The pleasure is ours. We've got so much we can talk about, and I don't want to waste any time, so we'll get right in. Maybe with how you started playing the sport. Obviously, your father was a bit of a water polo legend, really. I know he was a great player for the French national team. Sadly, he's no longer with us, but can you explain maybe his impact on how you started water polo?
Yes, before I started other sports, when I was kid, like a bit soccer and volleyball, and then I start water polo a bit late, between 10 and 11, and it was like I fall in love with this sport immediately, and of course because my father was a player, it has a big impact. And he made me love this sport. We were always talking about it. And I'm born in this club in Marseille. And there is two sports, swimming and water polo. So it was easy for me to choose, and that's why I start water polo.
And you said you started a bit late to the sport.
Yeah.
But were you pretty good the first time you did it? Were you better than all the other kids, or did it take some time for you to catch up?
Just the thing I was good, it was the shoots. You know, I was left-hander, and they saw that I had a good shoot, but physically, and I was so skinny. Also swimming, I was not a good swimmer. So in the beginning also, I was not in the junior category. I was not so much in the national team and this.
Do you remember a time, maybe when you were a teenager, maybe 15, 16, when you started to realise, actually, now I'm better at swimming, and now I'm better at defending, and maybe I can now maybe represent France at the junior national teams and maybe Marseille as a senior?
I think it started when Petar Kovacevic came in Marseille. We worked a lot, especially in defense. And around 18, 19, I started to improve, especially in this part of the game. And swimming, okay, I then when I was young also it was better, but 3 years ago we had, which is late for me, but 3 years ago we had Romain Barnier, who is ex-coach swimmer and now our sport director and our coach for swimming, and he make me improve a lot in these last 3 years.
Okay, and eventually you worked your way up and you started to play for Marseille, the senior team.
Yeah.
Do you remember those first days joining the senior team, how you were feeling? Did you find it really difficult, or did you find it easy, or anything like that?
It was difficult because I put a lot of pressure on myself, but I was like, to be honest, I was like a kid in Disney, you know. Especially the years before I start to come in the first team, I wanted always to come to watch them trainings. They were like idol for me. And that's also why I wanted to become professional, because I saw some players in Marseille who who make me dream, you know.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, we will talk about French water polo a little bit later, but you said that you wanted to be professional. At that time when you were breaking into the senior team, was it a professional environment in Marseille or was it not at that level yet?
No, it was already really, really professional. I signed my first professional contract when I was 17.
Mm-hmm.
And already in Marseille in this time was a really serious club. Mm-hmm. With only professional in the team. We played already Champions League in the high level in this.
Nice. Okay, let's fast forward a little bit to when you were maybe 21, 22 and you suddenly started playing for Montenegro. It's quite random for a lot of us. Can you maybe tell us how that happened? How did that come to pass?
Many things make it happen. So I was in Marseille, and first I decided that I wanted to go out of Marseille to improve because this is my home, and let's say I wanted to go out from my comfort zone. And in this moment, nobody knew me, so nobody called me, and Petar Kovacevic called Budva, mm-hmm. and let's say he talked about me. They called me, and so I signed there. It was funny because when I signed there, some young player from the team, they didn't know if I am a left-hander, right-hander, which was difficult because I came from Marseille, where everybody knew me, and mm-hmm. then I arrived there like a French guy in Montenegro. It's mm-hmm. not so often. And in the same moments, Petar Kovacevic, who was coach also from the national team, had some clash with the federation, so he decided to stop to be the coach. I was really sad because he was my mentor in that time, and I start to play in Budva, and it goes a bit faster than I expect. I played good, and they also asked me if I would be interested during the season to play for Montenegro. It was not so good situation in France, mm-hmm. so in the balance I decided, yes, that I wanted to change my nationality. And also in that time, it was the chance for me to play with some guys that few months ago I was watching on the TV, and it was like a dream for me mm-hmm. to watch, I don't know, in that time, Ivovic, Jokic, Nikolajanovic. Mm-hmm. And after a few months to be in the training with them, it was, I didn't realize what's happening. Maybe it was amazing experience, but also it was maybe too fast for me in that moment. So
what do you mean? What do you mean by that? Do you think you weren't ready to join that level of water polo?
Yeah, you come from being a kid from Marseille, and 1 year and a half later, you are in the final of World Championship with some of your idols, mm-hmm. playing with them. So, yeah, it was amazing, and I reached that because I work a lot. Yeah. And I remember it was really difficult, the preparation for the World Championship, because in the beginning we were like 20 players, and for some of them, it was not normal that a French mm-hmm. comes. So it was many of 95% of the team, they were really good with me, mm-hmm. but some of them, they were a bit. They come in the clash in the training with me, and it was a big experience to be in the 13 players.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I bet they were a bit confused why this French guy suddenly joined the team. But I think you did quite well with Montenegro, and as you said, you got to the World Championship final in 2013. I think it was in Eindhoven.
Barcelona.
Yeah. Barcelona, was it?
Yeah.
Okay. And that was a great experience, and that's a medal. For you, World Championship is great. What's the biggest lesson though from playing in Montenegro before then you moved back to play for France?
For me, the biggest. You mean where I learned the most?
Yes, yeah. Is there something that you learned during your time with the Montenegro national team that you still keep with you today, or an experience maybe?
So playing with that players who were the best in the world in that moment make me improve a lot. Mm-hmm. But also what I remember in Montenegro comparing to France is that when they have one young new player, they push him a lot. Uh-huh. many guys, I remember again, Ivovic, Janovic, Šepanovic, also the goalkeeper, they were helping me a lot all the time, out of the pool, in the pool. They were pushing me to shoot, even if I missed, shoot again. They tried to make me the more confident as possible. In France, sometimes when there is a young player, sometimes even if he's good, they will be even jealous, and that changed also my mentality.
Okay, that's nice. And obviously your time with Montenegro came to an end, and you rejoined the French national team in preparation for the Rio Olympics, which were it was crazy. You guys qualified basically on a penalty shootout. I think in Trieste against the Netherlands.
Yes.
What was that like for you and the team when you qualified for those Olympics in very dramatic circumstances? How excited were you that you'd be an Olympian?
It's one of my biggest memory, of course, because after 25 years to qualify in Olympic Games for us, it was like for maybe some other team winning a gold medal. So it was amazing really, because before the tournament we knew that it will be so difficult, and game by game you start to be closer from this goal. And I remember it's the most difficult tournament ever, because the pressure is higher and higher, and you cannot sleep in the night. You start to think more and more about, this is possible, maybe we can go in Olympics. And it's amazing memory.
And it's the biggest tournament for water polo players, and so every single player at that competition will do anything they can to get there. And then obviously you made the Olympics, and you went to Rio. You didn't get out the group, but you did beat Croatia, who went on to medal. It's strange how it works, but there were some close games as well with some of the other teams. What was the expectation before the Olympics once you'd qualified, and then how do you reflect on how the team did? Were you I mentioned the Croatia result. I'm sure you were really, really happy with that, but were you disappointed maybe with the way other things went?
It was really hard to manage for us these Olympic Games, because we needed to find the balance between enjoy there about the magic of Olympics, because it was our first time and maybe it was the last time for us, and also to make some good results. So in some part of the competition we were a bit, I don't like this word, but like tourists, because we wanted to be in this experience, to enjoy, but also we wanted to have the results, which is not easy to...
The balance is not easy to
find. The balance
is
not easy. So I think we played some good games, but if now I go again on the Olympic Games, I will try to think more about the results, of course.
And we'll talk about that shortly. Fast forward a little bit after the Olympic Games, and you found yourself joining Szolnok in Hungary, a great team with great tradition, especially the team that you went into at that time is mad. And you did end up winning the Champions League there. What was it like playing in Hungary as a foreigner? Particularly, the Hungarians demand an awful lot from their players, especially foreigners, and to play with some of the players in that team.
Again, it's not so often that I think it was first time a French player who was in Hungary. It was all amazing. I remember when they called me, I was I'm not how can I say, shy to say, I was so happy to be called by amazing team. And what can I say? Amazing experience with all-star team. Really, if you looked on the paper, when I'm thinking now about this team, in every position it was a top-class player. And I remember that I spent a lot of time with the Serbian because I knew them a bit, but also the Hungarian, I must say that they were amazing with me.
Yeah, there was at the time, I think, Vamos, Denis Varga Was Victor Naj also
Naj, yes.
there? And what did you learn from those players playing in such a difficult league? At the time, it was definitely the best league in the world.
Yeah, best league in the world, and different way of training. Hungarian, it's a lot of. They are all good shooters.
Mm-hmm.
I realize how, because there is a lot of shoot session, and it was good for me to play with Vamos, especially that I think that we have a completely different style of playing, and it was good that we could play together also with Gocic.
Yes,
who was
of course, yeah.
one of the best captain I had in my life,
Yeah.
really. And Denis Varga, he's about natural qualities. He's the player with who I play who impressed me the most, because he looks like he's doing all the things easy with his body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He makes it look
and
so easy.
The goalkeeper Naji Victor,
crazy guy.
Crazy, but crazy in the game, but out of the pool, completely different.
Normal guy.
So calm, and a machine of training. You can shoot from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. He will be 100%. He was a machine, really.
Yeah, I remember watching some games of him playing, and he would just celebrate before he'd even save the shot. Sometimes, like, he could see that he was going to catch the ball, and you could see his face. He's a crazy guy, and obviously, as I said, you did win the Champions League, and I think it is important to remember in water polo, lots of people focus on the Olympics being or the World Championships as being the best maybe achievement you can do, but actually, the Champions League is the best club competition in the world, and to win it is very, very difficult, and not many people do it, and you have done it. So how special was that?
I am saying the same for a French guy, and I hope in the future I can win again, and some French player will win also the Champions League, because it's not often. And I remember when I signed there, after 2 weeks, I was in the car with Andrea, and I said to him, do you think we can win Champions League? Because for him he won already, I don't know how much. And he said to me, yes, with this team we have a chance really to win. And then he said to me, when we won, you remember what I said to you? And also Gocic, it was funny what he said. He said, I made the first French guy winning a Champions League.
He made it happen, right?
Yeah,
it had nothing to do with the year or anything.
Yes.
Fine. Okay, well, we could talk a little bit more about Champions League and maybe recent times, maybe this season. Things haven't really gone to plan. And it's a bit strange, and we're all scratching our heads to why. The team you have is great. I mean, you guys final 8 could definitely make that, and maybe even a medal. But things haven't quite gone to plan. Do you have any kind of have you thought about any reasons about why it could be?
I think it's the 2 years ago we made a really good season. We reached the final 8. Last year again we played amazing game in the group. I think we won 11 games in a row, which was really good for us. And now, so we improve a lot during 2 years, and usually we have some times like this. It's not easy to all the time improve, and this year it's more difficult. I don't know why exactly. I don't have the secret about this, but probably because the team also we didn't change so much the team, and the others, they know more about us. They know more how to prepare, where we are good, where we are not so good, and maybe that's why we are not so good like the years before. But I hope the last win against Sabadell is the beginning of a good series of winning.
Yeah, we hope so too, and I think it's good that Marseille are being considered. Yeah. To be not just a team that, like you said, like a tourists around Europe. Oh, look, we're playing Champions League. Look how good we are. That you actually, there is an expectation that you should be winning games, and when you don't, people say it's crisis and stuff. Maybe just talking about Marseille in terms of the French league. You played in France. You've played for Marseille and other teams. During your time playing, how much have you noticed the difference and the increase in how professional and the standard of the water polo in France?
You mean how the league is? Is professional.
How has the league got better during the time that you started playing till now?
I think it's more money. So the clubs, they can call more quality players, foreigner, let's say foreigner, and maybe the Olympic Games also is pushing the clubs to be more ambitious. And the last thing is that the last years, the coaches, we have more good coaches than before.
Yeah.
So more also good French players. So all of these things, French players, foreigners, good foreigners are coming. Let's say like there are many, but Andrea, who is maybe one of the best players ever in our sport, who come in Marseille, it shows that the French league is more serious. Last Bowen, who was the best scorer in the World Championship, came in Noisy-le-Sec. So that's why the French league is better and better.
And if French clubs take it more seriously, it's always a possibility that spills over into the national team. And obviously, you've got an Olympics to prepare for, but everyone can see the results for the French national team have improved. And obviously, we're the most clear example of that was last year at the European Championships with that really special win against Serbia.
Yes.
I'm not sure any Frenchman, even the most optimistic French supporter, would ever imagine that would be the case. I know Serbia weren't the same. So you guys must be pretty confident and pleased with how you are making progress building up to the Paris Olympics.
Yes, we are confident now on our capacities, but also we are realistic, and we know that we start to be closer and closer from the top level team, but we need to continue a lot to work, because if we stop, we can fall down really fast.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah,
that's why it's difficult to say I'm always sad about the result here, because we came here honestly to qualify for Los Angeles and to win against Croatia. In Croatia, we prepare to win those games, not to play good. And we can do it for now. But comparing to splits, we still keep this good level against all the team. We were almost all the game in against Croatia and Hungary. But the difference now, I think, between the others is that if you look all the other teams, they have all the same coaches the last 10 years. We changed our coaches 1.5 years ago, and that's why we need more time to work together. And now we come from our club in the World League, and we are still confused about everything. We need more time. That's why before splits we worked a lot, and we were better than now. I mean, more organized.
Yeah, more together and all on the same page. Unfortunately, you don't have that much time before the Olympics, which for you guys might be a career-defining tournament. I remember when I was 10 or 11, and the Olympic Games were held in London, and I was born in London, and I played water polo and went and watched the games, and I remember how excited everyone was. On the streets about a year before, there were just posters and adverts for the Olympic Games with our favourite athletes all up on the advertising boards. Are you starting to notice that kind of environment in France? Are you starting to notice things ramping up a little bit?
Not yet. We are speaking a lot about it. It's every day in our heads. When I train, I'm thinking, of course, in the game of Champions League who is coming, but you have every day these Olympics who are coming. Sometimes you are dead, it's cold, and you are going at 9:30 p.m. to do the cold bath because you said, maybe I will be better in 1.5 years in Olympics. So, but about talking about this in the street and in the media, not so much. I think it will come in few months, yes.
And as the captain, and hopefully you will be leading the team to those Olympic Games. That will now be your second Olympic Games, and for the best part of 30 years, there'd been no French representation at the Olympics in terms of water polo, and now that you'll be a two-time Olympian. You spoke earlier about in Rio you wanted to enjoy yourselves because you didn't know if you'd be there again, and now you are at a home Olympics. And this is something I want to ask you as well. There's a lot of pressure on your team, not just as the hosts. I know there's always pressure, but really, you guys have to get a good result.
Yes.
For the future of French water polo.
Yes.
And I know that sounds quite dramatic, but if you can get a top 6, top 4 result, the funding, the sponsorship, the interest in the sport can continue at the pace it has been. Do you feel that pressure? And do your teammates feel that pressure, or are you not really focused on that?
Yes, we are a bit, because as you said, we know that if we made an historical result in Paris, it will be good first for us because it's our dream to maybe reach one medal, but it will also be good for the future of French water polo. I'm confident, and we don't want to put too much pressure on the results, but also we cannot escape. We are working a lot. We have everything now. We have good clubs. We have good coaches in national team. Florian Bruzo, who came back, who is making amazing things. Kobechak, who is one of the best coaches in the world, which is amazing for us to work with him. So we cannot escape from being ambitious. We made good results in Split. Everybody now is looking at us. I don't want to say that we have to take a medal, but we have also to be ambitious and not to say, oh, we will try, we are like outsider. No, we are working every day to be a good team in Paris.
Nice. And for you personally, maybe it's still a long way away, and maybe you're not thinking about it, but after Paris, that might just be you thinking that you might retire or not. In the next 5 years, what do you see yourself doing when you do retire? Do you think that you will stay in the sport? Do you think maybe you could be a coach or do some other role?
So if you ask me now, I want to try again to play until Los Angeles. In Los Angeles, I will be between 36 and 37. If I am still motivated, if the national team is continue to call me and this, I will try really to play until there. Especially when I see now some players like Andrea, Filipovic, Perron, who are now 36 and they are playing still
at the highest level, yeah.
Even their highest level. So about being coaches, if you ask me now, no, I don't see myself coach. Maybe it will change, but no, I don't think so. Staying in water polo, organization and this, why not? If I can help and to do anything for my sports, I will doing, but to be the coach, I don't think so for now.
Okay, one last question before we go into the quickfire questions. I think it's a good question to ask you. Do you think that you're the best that you've ever been? Are you the best player, the best version of yourself now throughout your whole career?
It's difficult to say. Yes, maybe yes, but I'm still not satisfied about what I can do. I have my personal ambitions. If you ask me about just me as a player, and I think in every part of the game, I still can be better, and I'm very motivated to every day to improve.
Okay, that's a good answer, and we'll move on to some quick fire questions. So I think I probably already know the answer to this, but the best moment of your career?
The best memory or moment?
Both, the same, whatever.
Maybe winning Champions League or qualify for Olympic Games.
If you had to pick one?
It's difficult. I will say, okay, because this is my country and this qualify for Olympics.
Okay, and the worst moment of your career, do you think?
Worst moment of my career is that In the last qualification for Olympic Games in Rotterdam, we lost after penalty against Greece.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Bad moment.
Yes, really bad moment.
Okay. The best player that you've ever played with?
If I look about everything, about playing, about trophies, what he win, about attitude and this, I will say Andrea Perlainovic.
Mm-hmm. And was he better when he was at Szolnok or now when he's at Marseille?
He's the same. He's playing the same position. Okay, this season he's playing a bit on the right, but different role in the team. I to be honest, it's not that I want to escape the question. I don't know. I cannot. He's the same level for me,
mm-hmm.
really.
Okay. A team that you wish you'd played for but you never have?
I would like to play, maybe if I have the opportunity one day, to play in Barceloneta.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
how come?
I don't know, because the club is looking a bit like Marseille.
Mm-hmm.
It's on the sea.
Mm-hmm.
And I never play with them, but I like the image they send as a team. They look like a good team with a good energy, and also Barcelona is an amazing city, close to Marseille.
Uh-huh.
Many reasons make this.
Okay, well, if Elvis Fatovic is listening, maybe he take note. The best pool you've ever played in? The best swimming pool?
Best swimming pool is this arena in Belgrade they made for the European Championship in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
This is the biggest pool ever where I played.
Yeah, 16,000
yes,
people
and when we played against Serbia, it was 10,000 people.
Yeah.
So best pool ever.
Yeah, crazy. If you had to pick one young player in France, maybe under 21, who you think will be the next big thing in France, who would it be?
It's not easy. Thomas Vernou.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, he's amazing. I said before, physically also in the head, he is really mature already, motivate, smart, humble. Mm-hmm. He has all the things to, I hope and I wish, to be maybe the best in the world.
Yeah, let's hope. Do you have a favourite food? Is it bouillabaisse from Marseille, maybe?
No, I'm not eating so much bouillabaisse. I will say lasagna.
Lasagna?
Yes, I like.
Are you a good cook generally?
No, I'm terrible.
You're terrible?
Terrible.
No? Okay.
Yes.
I know you love your football.
Yes.
You're a big Marseille fan. If you had to support one club that wasn't Marseille, who would it be? Or would you not be interested in football?
No, if you ask me, I like Liverpool. Yes.
Wrong answer. Wrong answer.
Yes.
Liverpool. Okay, and one final question. Can you tell us something about yourself that maybe the public don't necessarily know? Maybe some hobbies that you have, what you do when you're not playing water polo?
I will say it's not so something crazy, but I love to listen music when I'm alone, and my sister has a restaurant. I love to spend time there, sometimes too much. Yes, I'm following a lot water polo sport. I'm not doing something so special that it will make you surprised.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So we know where to find you eating lasagna at your sister's restaurant. Ugo, thank you very much for joining us. We really appreciate your time, and thank you very much for joining us for this episode. We hope you enjoyed it. Just one last reminder before you go. You're entitled to 10% off at Wear Water Polo using discount code podcast10. So look online, see if there's any kit that you like, any team gear. Go to the checkout, enter podcast code discount10 for 10% off. And if you can leave a review, subscribe, make sure you follow all of our social media channels for all the latest water polo news, that would be great. Thank you very much for joining us. We hope you enjoyed it, and see you next time on the Total Waterpolo Podcast.